So we've got some interesting news, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it is absolutely wild. Crowder is trending. You have, and let me just be honest, you have these pathetic losers that will never be in a relationship, never have kids, never be in a position of success like Crowder is, but they are taking such glee and delight from his destruction. It is like crabs in a bucket. But he's not destroyed. And you see things like this. Crowder verbally abused his pregnant wife. I watched this entire thing. He didn't abuse her. They're in a fight. But you notice that all of these backbenchers, all of these fucking losers, they want they want to run their mouth, but most of them are genuinely miserable. And this is what really blows my mind. How many are with the way he talked about and treated his wife? I've watched this whole thing. He's laying down his guidelines. He's laying down his regulations. He's laying down his standards. And it appears that she didn't. It appears she wasn't a very good wife. If you have a guy with this level of stress, with this, I mean, think about what Steven Crowder has to go through. All right, just try to think about it for a second. He is going out on his own to make this show, Ladder with Crowder. It's this huge deal, bringing in millions and millions of dollars. In fact, let's just watch it.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either.
See,
Do you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going, I'll be back when I'm back?
Steven,
And making it work. Can you do that? The only way out of this is discipline and respect. It's the only way out of it, or we're at an impasse.
we are at an impasse.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline and respect.
Steven,
Yeah. There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Steven.
You give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Steven, no, we are at an impasse, okay? I love you.
Discipline and respect. I mean, first of all, people on the left, I mean, their entire lives, their entire relationships are based on misery and just enjoying the misery of others. But really, when it comes down to it, their lives are meaningless. Their lives are empty. You know, what do they think is a meaningful life? Well, for women, they're told that having a career is the most important thing. Not having kids, you know, going until you're 50, and then you can look for a guy, which never happens, and then these women are perpetually alone. A man, he has to lay down the law in his house. Now, I can already tell by the way that this woman acts that she is not a traditional woman. They call it trad values. This is not a traditional woman. The way that she's acting, the way that she's behaving, has this masculine energy. I'm not going to do what I'm told. You know, it's repulsive, and it's why channels like Fresh and Fit are so important. Because if you listen to like Ben Shapiro, for example, Ben Shapiro gives you basically like, oh, you want to learn how to drive a car, so you're going to get like an ABC book on how to drive a car. Well, what you need to do is you need to, you know, accumulate a lot of money, and then you need to find somebody who's, you know, in your general faith, and then marry her. And if you do that, then it's like he's giving you like the textbook definition, but he doesn't understand. Like, Ben Shapiro is ignorant on most things as it relates to the everyday person because he's lived such a privileged life. Now, not taking away from that, his family obviously worked hard for that, but somebody who's getting married today that doesn't have what Ben Shapiro grew up with and was handed, they have to approach this in a different way. So Crowder is saying, you know, you don't do things the way that I like in this household. You know, I'm telling you that you need some respect, and you need some discipline. You need some rules. You're acting this way. I'm not a fan of it. And these fucking people, these people that are always going to be alone. I don't even know who this person is. Guaranteed, all these people are going to be alone. Even if they're in relationships now, it's not going to last. But that doesn't stop them from taking joy in the destruction of others.
But Steven, your abuse is sick.
Abuse? Abuse? I goddamn.
Watch it.
Is sick.
Watch it. Fucking watch it.
He's handling this better than I thought. He just got accused of abuse. Abuse? That was abuse? That was abuse.
I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit. Okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it, you go, no. But
Did you just hear what he said? This is so important. He just said, when I ask you to do A, B, C, and D, you don't. I mean, I understand that the libtards and the unipartists are just celebrating that this guy's going through a misfortune. But use this as a teachable moment. He is explaining his issue in the relationship. That he doesn't feel that she's pulling her part. And he's bringing in the money. I mean, obviously, look at this place is nice. You know, he doesn't seem to be asking for a whole lot. He seems to be asking for respect and discipline. And it's basically discipline. I know a lot of people on the left who are fucking freaks. They think discipline's like, oh, that's kinky. Discipline is you wake up at a certain time. You've got a schedule that you keep. And if you're going to be the wife of Steven Crowder, of somebody who has such a crazy schedule, who's fighting the fucking world, discipline is the least that you could do. Having things done at a certain time, on time, so that he doesn't have to worry about it. So that he comes home and his house is clean, there's food ready, everything's ready to go. If you know, hey, do you need anything? What can I do to make your life easier? This guy is making millions of dollars. He's built an empire. He has tons of employees. And this woman, from everything that I see, is just an absolute modern day masculine woman. And this is why it's such a problem.
I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right, right in past. Become someone that's unique, day in and day out, worthy of a wife, worthy.
How is this abuse? If you think this is abuse, you are out of your fucking mind. It's psychological abuse. He's telling her, I have these standards. And here's what they are. Be worthy of being a wife, basically. So obviously, in every step of the way, he's explained what his issue is, what his problem is. He's explained it. I don't think you're a very worthy wife. You don't do what you're told. You don't fulfill your obligation. You don't have discipline. She's like, I'll be back when I'm back. This is obviously a very, very troubled relationship because of her. You listen to her attitude. You listen to what he's saying. He's laying out some very clear guidelines. Like, hey, follow these simple things. But you have women today that are so head up their own ass, so fucking arrogant, that she's willing to end the marriage, pregnant with 2 kids, willing to end the marriage over this because she can't be bothered to be a traditional wife.
No, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife.
As a
I said
wife?
Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll text me what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not gonna.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything.
So I get where he's coming from. I genuinely do. Do you hear the frustration in his voice and what he's saying? He's saying, you love me, but you don't do anything. It is essentially it. It's like, and women have this entitlement that's fucking astonishing. There is something beautiful and incredible about having kids. But women put way, way, way too much emphasis on, like, well, it's my body, and it's like, oh boy. There's just so much in this. Culture around this topic it's taboo. It's like I'm walking into a minefield, but I really don't give a shit. I don't think women are as special as society tells them that they are. And I'm not saying that to be misogynistic. I'm saying that because society tells women that they can do everything. Obviously, they can't because, well, let's face it, women are so bad at just about everything that men are, for the first time in their life, pretending to be women and beating all of the women at all of the sports and all of the things. It's incredible. Caitlyn Jenner became a woman, and she wasn't even a woman a year, I think, and she got Woman of the Year. It's like, boy, this idea that women are special is just not true. They're special women, don't get me wrong. They're special women, but this idea that women are just somehow just so special, I think it needs to be done away with. I think women need to earn their role. And I think men need to understand their worth like Crowder is here. He's got standards, principles, and boundaries. She's not meeting them. So he's like, I'm gonna stick with this. If you're not willing to put on some gloves, do a little bit of work. Look at all the shit that he's providing. She's not providing this shit. Look at all the shit he's providing through his hard work. And he just wants a little bit of gratification. He wants to come home and have a wife that's grateful for the things that he does and provides. But he doesn't get that.
You just said I love you. I'm committed to you. Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm good.
Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication the dogs take? No, you take Betty.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So, wait a minute. You don't actually have that part? Wait a minute. You don't actually have the part where he says, oh my God. Stephen gets angry and angry, and by his own admission, screams, you don't even have it? This has to be defamation. Because you had 2 minutes and 20 seconds to show. Wow, unbelievable. Let's see, behavior that is controlling, jealous, or possessive, saying or doing things to humiliate the other person or make them feel stupid, isolating the person and or discouraging or restricting them from spending time with friends or family, gaslighting the other person by making them question themselves, manipulating their feelings or words, or denying events and actions, making the other person feel as though they're always wrong. I mean, my God. My God. This is such bullshit, and this is where we're at. This is where we're at. It blows my mind. Yeah, by the way, Will Chamberlain is a worm. He's a piece of shit. I think I wrote as much in my comment. It says, here's the thing about Crowder's situation. His wife left him while she was 8 months pregnant with twins. Do you really think... by the way, understand, this guy is a genuine piece of shit. He is an anti-Trump, uniparty, just moron. He's been wrong about nearly everything that he's talking about. It's their private business while you're commenting. Folks should ask Crowder why he went on his widely viewed show and explain that the mistake he made in his marriage was picking the wrong woman. Listen, you fucking worm. You suck up. You sycophant. You parasite. What does that have to do with you commenting on this? Steven Crowder goes on the show. He says, you know what? I'm getting a divorce. And you know what? I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made was picking the wrong woman. Because she's a masculine woman that obviously doesn't respect my boundaries, doesn't do anything, doesn't appreciate what I do for her. So I picked the wrong woman. And this guy's like, well, I can comment about this now. And I can, it's like, oh God. Well, here's what I wrote. You can choose to backbench his relationship if you want. Worms like you, worms like you have little else to offer. However, I find it remarkable how many miserable, loathsome, alone, and generally worthless people are so interested in the inner workings of a relationship they won't have and will never have. That's the God's honest truth. You have a bunch of people that are miserable.
Conservative, what it means is that we become tribal and we defend other conservatives even.
So, by the way, my opinion on Candace Owens is that she is, as Drexel says, Drexel has a term German Shepherd. Candace Owens is, she's right on a couple things, but she is one of the most repugnant and stupid human beings. She's just a nasty bitch. That's really what it is. A disgusting, disgraceful, classless, ignorant human being that constantly goes through life envious of other people. She had no problem defending Kanye. But Steven Crowder, who she has an issue with, she calls him a monster. And so, the grifters are going to grift. Yeah, I'm not seeing the monster part. Sound like he's frustrating and challenging her to step up in the relationship. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Yeah, no. That video of Crowder was bad. Like, real bad. But this video from Ken isn't much better. Well, at least she admits that Candace Owens is a German Shepherd and that she's a fucking mutt. And she's awful. Generally awful. And by the way, because Candace Owens is a race baiter, someone's like, oh, you call me a German Shepherd? It must be because I'm black. No, it's because you're a bitch and you bark a lot. German Shepherds are known for going off the leash and barking a lot at anything. I should know. I used to have a German Shepherd. I love them dearly, but goddamn, he could annoy the bejesus out of me. There'd be a specter There'd be like a shadow in the front yard, and he'd bark for hours. Listen, is Stephen wrong 100%? No, he's not. No, Stephen is not wrong at all, and the people saying that he is just absolutely repugnant. This is awful. Candace has changed my mind on this whole drama. I still can't say that Candace and the Daily Wire are perfectly blameless, but this does change the narrative considerably. This changes nothing about the facts of the Daily Wire contrary. I don't disagree, but if Crowder was already feeling slighted with this divorce, no. Have you watched his content? He's been fine. I'm sure that it has hurt. But I mean, it is ghoulish that this fucking German Shepherd, this loudmouth yapping cunt, is going out there and saying that he's a monster from this and misinterpreting this and trying to distort this. I've obtained over 3 minutes of Steven Crowder being... he's not abusive. This isn't abusive. There we go. Anyway, this is the tone and tenor. This is what we're up against, by the way. This just absolute pussification of our culture. And you can tell that you fucked up when, I mean, just the absolute scum come out of the woodwork. When Mike Cernovich is the voice of reason here, you know that things are bad. I knew about Crowder's divorce 6 months ago. Find me talking about it. You won't. It was private. I don't spill the beans. None of us should. Then, Crowder did a video blaming his wife for the divorce, posted it himself for public consumption. He did that. Okay, well, you know what? He talked about his divorce publicly, so that gives people... you know what? Maybe gives them the right to lie and defame him and, make up this complete narrative, this bullshit because they hate him. It gives a dog like this the ability to just completely label him an abuser, which was not true. This is absolutely astonishing. He didn't verbally abuse her. And let me see if they
Watch it. Fucking watch.
Where is the section where he actually verbally abused her? And here's the other thing about this. They post these things about Steven Crowder, like, oh my God, he dresses up like a woman. This was to mock fucking retards like you. Do you not understand? These were bits. This one right here, I think, was the one where he pretended to be one of you people, and he was trying to pass some kind of like article. It was fucking hysterical. All of these are bits to make fun of you. And they're trying to be like, Well, Steven Crowder likes to cross-dress. You people are a fucking joke. You people are a fucking joke. You are the dumbest, most repulsive, ignorant, clownish human beings. So Steven Crowder says, the mistake I made was marrying this woman who isn't really a good wife. Wasn't really a good wife. She didn't do anything that she was asked. She was always combative. She had this masculine energy. Don't like this. And these fucking vultures, these scumbags, these he-hims, trans rights, these fucking psychopaths that will always be miserable. It is absolutely, absolutely, it's not inappropriate to discuss this. No, it's not. It's not inappropriate to discuss this. It is perfectly fine. If Crowder wants to go on the show and say, look, I just want to let my audience know, I've been going through a divorce. My greatest mistake is that I picked the wrong woman. She's in her masculine energy. She's not agreeable. She doesn't do anything. She's not grateful for what I've provided, and she doesn't respect my boundaries and my standards. She doesn't have any discipline or any respect for the household or any respect for me or what I provide. So that's it. And you go down here and you find that it's just filled to the brim with scum. Scum. It's just, that's all it is. It's people on the left, backbenchers on the right. That's the most pathetic thing. It's like all of the backbenchers. Oh, and here's Ethan Klein to ooze out of the woodwork. Like his relationship is anything to smile about. But this is say 20 seconds. Where
The medication is wrong. No, you take that in.
So none of them have it. This is 3 minutes and 20 seconds. None of them have it. This block of text, why is that not in here? As Crowder goes inside, then he does the thing that you're watching the video for. Fucking bullshit. And by the way, this guy is an irredeemable, vile ooze. He is a piece of garbage. This guy got absolutely fucked by Fresh and Fit. It was embarrassing. In fact, let me take a moment to go to YouTube. Let's see, Fresh and Fit Ethan Klein. This might actually be pretty funny. Is this the one? Or is this the one? I don't know. We'll try this one first. Oh, jeez.
Run-ins with my.
I don't think this is it. No, in fact, I'm certain it's not it. All right.
And we
Let's see. This is a bit of an impromptu thing. If I recall, I thought Ethan Klein Ho. Where the yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Anyway, the point was that Ethan Klein, his wife posts like she posts like almost naked pictures online. Just like, barely anything up top, like just hoe clothes. And Ethan's like, well, I mean, I don't know what a hoe would be. You know, he won't answer the question. He's stuttering his way through. It's fucking embarrassing. This guy lives in a miserable relationship. I mean, just an absolute pussy. We all knew he was getting divorced. No one said anything. It's like, yeah, they're all trying to defend this stuff. And you know that you fucked up. You know that you fucked up when you're in the same league with these people. That's how you know you fucked up royally. All of these people that not this guy, but people gossiping on the internet like little girls about is so annoying. I mean, God bless whoever this is. This is the God. Whew, I was starting to lose faith in humanity. I don't know who this is. Melanie Mac. I'm gonna give you a follow. Jesus freak. Yeah, you know what? I'm loving it. I don't know who you are, but goddamn, you are the oasis in the desert. You are the oasis in the desert. I was lost, but now I'm found. I was looking for shit. Okay, let me read it. People gossiping on the internet like little girls about Crowder's divorce is so annoying. All some of y'all need is a 3-minute clip and a one-sided story to go on, and you're quick to make a judgment call. This is nobody's business. And more than nobody's business, even if they want to talk about it, they've gotten it fucking wrong. Which is even more embarrassing because this is a pretty easy one to get right if you aren't jacked into the asshole of, you know, you're jacked into the Matrix. Yeah, jacked into some guy's asshole. This is the most easy thing to get right. The fact that you watch Steven Crowder and you're like, yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. And that block of text at the end, I call bullshit. I don't think any of us would like to see some of our worst moments on camera for the world to judge. There are two sides to every story, and quite frankly, both sides are none of our business in the first place. I'm so sick of unproductive drama. I agree with that much. I agree so much that I can't agree anymore. A lot of conservatives are acting like the left by engaging in his divorce. All I can think about while watching this stuff is that if some of me and my hubby's worst fights were recorded, people would have a ton to say. Yeah, that's the other thing. Families have fights. Sometimes they're ugly. Well, I mean, most of the people on the left, they don't really have any of those moments because they're alone and will always be alone. If your man yelled at you and told you, I'll fuck you up, where did he say that? Yeah, pretty much. Didn't hear him say it in the video. And this is what it comes down to. Anyone who knows me knows I have no problem calling somebody out. I did a video on this. This was a little bit harsh on Crowder for his situation with Dave Landau. It was saying that I think that he should man up and apologize. So I'm not here to blow smoke up this guy's ass, but what they're doing to him is absolutely disgusting. And these people on the right and on the left and in the center, all these people should feel fucking terrible. Because they are genuinely the worst. They are scum. Opportunistic scum looking to delight off of the misfortune of others. And they're all terrible people. Genuinely terrible people. Oh, Tech and Culture reporter, NBC News. Unbelievable. Yeah, domestic violence. It's psychological abuse. So, what about the psychological abuse to him? What about a guy that works his ass off every day? Who works his fucking ass off every single day from some ungrateful bitch who's at home, doesn't do shit. Doesn't do anything. I can come as I want. I can go as I want. I can do as I want. I'm not going to help. What about the psychological abuse to Steven? From living with such a fucking selfish cunt. Somebody that doesn't prioritize the relationship. Somebody that doesn't chip in. Somebody that doesn't help. Somebody that obviously contributes nothing. Because that's the entirety of what he says. And I don't care. These people put this check mark in here to defame him. Whatever. Go ahead. Have at it. I don't believe any of this. And the reason I don't believe any of this is because if it were there, you would record it. You would put it on there. But it's not there. You didn't record it. Oh, of course, the one thing that would make him look genuinely terrible, you don't have in there. So you got to put a block of text. Fuck you. You people are scum, and you are a detriment to the human race in our society. You are an absolute detriment. A man having standards and principles and boundaries is not abuse. It's only abuse for people that have never been in a relationship. Domestic terrorist Steven Crowder. These people are fucking insane. Oh. Okay, so this guy gets a pass because it's pretty funny. Okay, that's pretty fucking funny. All right. It's not a good look. I think it's a perfectly fine look. And it may not make a lot of you who support it may. That being said, I can only get a sense that a lot of the outrage on the right is performative. Absolutely. Let's listen to this guy.
So, before I really start cooking, let me go ahead and preface this video by saying I'm not making this to go super viral. I'm not making this video because I want people to applaud me and tap me on the back and say, hey, attaboy Flex, that's my guy. You know, those are the right opinions. I'm making this because I want to clarify my position on one thing with this whole Steven Crowder nonsense. It's horrible, you know, it's disgusting. Makes me feel really icky inside. If it were me in that situation, you know, being Steven Crowder in that whole mess, I wouldn't be able to sleep. You know, I wouldn't be able to look at myself.
What? All right. Mr. What's your name? Mr. Malcolm? All right. Let me just paint you a scenario here because I think you've got this all wrong, respectfully. Imagine that you go to work every day. You build an empire, whether it's lifting weights or whatever it is. Maybe you start a show. It's about lifting weights. You make it this hilarious must-see show, and it's great. But the vegans hate you, and they despise you. And they can't stand you. So they go out of the way to try to get you deplatformed, get you canceled, get you shut down. And so every day it's a battle. Your show's doing better than ever. It's incredible. You're making tons of money, but you got these backbenchers and these terrible people. And so you're fighting that off. And then you go home. All right? And let's say you've got a wife. and you're bringing in millions of dollars. You're paying for the house. You're paying for everything, right? And your wife won't do shit. You ask her to take out the trash. You ask her to walk the dog. She says no. I'm not going to do it. You ask her to do anything. She says no. She gives you a fight about it. Over and over and over. You get a fight. You get a fight. You get a fight. You get a fight. Every day you get a fight about this. Hey, could you please do this? Do something. And you have to deal with this while you're fighting the fucking world. Now you mean to tell me that I couldn't look at myself. Stop for a sec. Stop being a bitch and virtue signaling and be honest for a second. Would you? And I'm not talking about the I'll F you up, because I don't believe that, because we didn't hear that. That was bullshit. That was added on to the end because progressives are the fucking scum of the earth and they lie about everything. Because they realized that the clip in itself wasn't bad enough. It wasn't bad at all. So they tried to put that out there to make it seem worse, because that's what they do. They lie, they distort. But imagine that you are putting your foot down finally with your wife. You're saying, look, you say that you love me. You say that you love me more than anything else, but you're just not doing anything. You're not pulling your weight. You're not giving me peace. You're not providing for this household. I'm doing all the work. You got to do something. And say that she has an absolute meltdown. She has an absolute meltdown and she goes off and says, well, I just can't listen to you anymore. I can't, you're insane. Goes to the press, goes to other people, posts a Ring video of you sitting there talking to her, trying to explain these things, and you've got these fucking backbenchers. These nobodies, these fucking losers. These people that will never know an ounce of your success in your life, they're trying to tear you down. They'll never be married. They'll never know the love of a woman. These people that will be miserable and die alone, and when they die, whether it be from whatever or taking their own life because no one gives a shit about them, no one will know, no one will care until the stink of their rotting bodies hits their neighbors from the apartment. You mean to tell me that these people have a point and that you would listen to them and you wouldn't be able to look at yourself? No, I think the reality is that if you were in the situation, you would hope that somebody like me would come along and at least give you the benefit of the doubt to say, I don't believe the narrative and I'm going to give this guy a chance. I'm going to at least stand up for the fact that what I've seen thus far is not only not bad, not only not terrible, but it's not bad. Now, if the video had shown Crowder verbally abusing his wife and physically abusing her, we'd be having a different conversation. But given the left's propensity for violence and distortions, they lie about everything. They lie about literally everything. They can't even agree on the basics of reality. They think that a man can be a woman can be a man. They think that there's nothing wrong with loving on a child or grooming a kid. You cancel the Pride Parade in Florida because you can't have kids there. These people are degenerate. They are morons. They don't know what's best for themselves, let alone other people. Steven Crowder did the absolute right thing. And I think it's disappointing that people like you are coming out here and jumping on this bandwagon because you think that that's what people want to hear. Rather than me, I don't give a shit what people want to hear. I'm speaking the truth.
That being said, it's not me. So I don't really feel compelled to have some strong feeling of disavowing Steven Crowder or, saying how abuse is wrong and we should never do it at any point, because
he wasn't abusive.
That's a given.
It's a given? No, he wasn't abusive. By no means was he abusive. He set up his boundaries and guidelines and his standards. Why is it that men's boundaries are vilified to this degree? Why is it that a man can say, look, you're not pulling any of your own weight. You're disagreeable. You've got a terrible personality. You're not bringing me peace. You're doing nothing, and you're actually draining as I'm trying to fight and take on the world. Anyway, let's move on. None of these clips. She was right to have left him. A fucking anime avatar with a trans flag. A fucking anime avatar. just unfucking real. Hold on. He admitted to yelling, "I will fuck you up." Where? Ugh, that's disappointing. But not surprising. Understand, these people have no critical thinking skills whatsoever. They will jump on this because, I mean, this requires, the analysis that I've done on this requires courage that these people just don't have. It requires critical thinking skills that these people just don't have. That's really what it is. Because they look at this and they feel a certain way, which I don't understand. He's setting down boundaries and guidelines. They're coming out and they're like, we won this one and this is a huge thing. When you have the left and the right agreeing on something like this, you know that you fucked up. Now, I'm not surprised to see Ethan Klein and Candace Owens agreeing on something. But I guess what I will end with is, if you think that Stephen verbally abused his wife, I don't know. I don't really know what to say to you. You can disagree with what he said, but the idea that, and by the way, I love the Substack, so it's just, yeah. It's unbelievable. How did this ring get out there in the public? I don't think Stevenson, probably her. Was it Discovery? I'm not sure. But whatever it is, I think at the end of the day, it's just pretty clear that unless we see more from this, where he was actually abusive, this is just fucking gross on her part. Unbelievable. And people are so fucking stupid that they're going to buy into this. Because critical thinking and thinking for yourself is not a trait that these people have. They see something easy, they jump onto it, and for them it's just like, oh, that's it. That's why somebody like Candace Owens, who's one of the dumbest human beings in the commentary community, just a German shepherd through and through, has to take like, oh, he's a monster, because she feels personally aggrieved, and she's going to yap and bark and just, anyway. That'll do it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time.